Let's just get right into the film to see exactly what type of player Bo Nix is going to be for the Broncos.
Wow. Yeah.
Probably
was a little frantic
clips.
there. No, it's not. It's not going to be enough clips this time. First of all,
over under 8.5. Todd.
Over for sure.
Over.
We'll see. This is like one of their favorite concepts there. I think this is a hitch out here. Doesn't really matter. This is just a little slot fade, clear things out. And they just run the out in behind because these guys have to go deep back here.
Is this the first or the second?
This is the second
game?
one. This is the Pac-12 championship. But this is the kind of stuff that, here, we can just click right through. So there's this guy going upfield. He's going to set this up. Just break outside. Bang. He's open. And then he catches. And then it's Troy Franklin. Or no, it's not. It's Tez. It's not Troy Franklin this time. So he makes a bunch of moves, picks up a bunch of yards. So this is kind of an interesting one. It's one that I want to ask Todd about because this is a pro concept. Mm-hmm. Like, this is kind of like a West Coast staple. You clear this guy out, you run the out and behind. The difference is, though, you're running it with receivers, and you do have the tight end on the backside, so it's still 11 personnel. Mm-hmm. But typically, when you see this in the NFL, you don't have 3 receivers to one side, in part just because of the wide hashes with the space. How much do you think they can run this with the receivers versus that being a tight end? And how does that kind of change things? Because this to me is an example of like the transition from a spread offense to more pro style.
I think this is exactly what they're going to do. And you actually do see it a good amount in the pros, especially if you're playing a Kansas City, if you're playing like Miami, if you're playing teams with good offensive coordinators, this is exactly what they're going to do to you. And it makes the matchups very easy. If you get a wide receiver on the tight end, we're throwing the ball there. If you get corners over, so now it's man-to-man, we're probably going to isolate the tight end on the backside.
Yep.
So this is exactly what New England used to do with Edelman. And then they would put Gronk on the backside, and the tight end was, being guarded by a linebacker. We're going to fade right now.
Exactly.
So I think it's definitely what we can do as the Denver Broncos, and it's smart to do. Smart football.
Yep.
You wouldn't allow that. You wouldn't allow a fade over you.
No. Not at all.
It sounded like you were saying maybe a linebacker's a good person to attack there.
In the eyes of offensive coordinators, I didn't say in my eyes.
Smart.
I'm saying that's what they do.
Some
I
had to clarify.
Yeah. Again, the reason that works you have a corner, which leaves a linebacker in here, and he's going to be responsible for moving out. There's no way he's going to be able to do that. But by putting tight end over here, you've got a corner over there, and that's where you kind of like tweak the matchups.
Zurio says he's got a tight end on his backside.
There we go. We were due for that.
Wow.
This is another one. It's not the craziest play, but I'm pretty sure that's Troy Franklin there at the bottom. It's one-on-one coverage, and so what do you do here? You scare him with your speed, and then you just run the little curl right behind him.
9 yards off, God.
Exactly. And so he just runs a little curl, bang, easy play. And again, this one's Troy Franklin, so you make the receivers miss. He gets up the sideline and picks up some yards. Again, it's not the most complicated stuff. I think it's one of the reasons people weren't so high on Bo Nix coming into this is because there were so many simple throws. There's a bunch of different ways to look at that, but like Pro Football Focus, they do the big time throw percentage. And of all the quarterbacks in the draft class, Bo Nix was last in terms of the percentage of his throws that they deem big time throws, which are either like deep balls or like tight windows, those sorts of things. Some of it is, though, Bo Nix finding these matchups like this one and just knowing that it's an easy completion.
And that's the thing. The game of football does not have to be hard. Like, you can overcomplicate it, and you can, take some big shots, and sometimes you come with the ball, make big plays. But if you do this down the field consistently, it's going to lead to a lot of completions, a lot of yards, which he had, and it's going to lead to a lot of long drives. We're putting together 8-9 play drives, really wearing out this defense that in the fourth quarter we just find a way to win against. Football doesn't have to be hard. For me, if I was an offensive coordinator, I'm always finding the easy matchups, and I'm taking it, and we're just going to keep marching down the field. And every now and again, I'll take a shot, but most of the time, I'm finding the matchups.
So it sounds like, well, why would everyone not do that? And probably the reason is it creates more. You have to do that more times. Your drives are going to be 8 to 10 plays instead of 3 to 7 plays. So it creates more opportunity for there to be mistakes and mess ups. So when I think about this and why certain quarterbacks could probably thrive in an 8 to 10 play drive instead of a 3 to 5 play drive is just decision making and being able to consistently make good decisions and not have mess ups. Because if you have a mess up one every 5 times, you're going to be throwing a pick one every 5 plays. They're taking a brutal sack one every 5 plays. So to me, is that right? Is that what makes the difference between a quarterback that can do sustain long drives all the time is just like elite decision making?
Yeah, you have to be smart with the football. You got to know where your matchups are, and you can't put your team in a bad position. We hate talking about the Chiefs on here. And as many times Patrick Mahomes takes shots down the field, a lot of it is those intermediate routes. Like, I'm finding matchups, and whether McCall Hartman can make the catch or not, that's not on me, but I found the right matchup and got it to him at 7 to 10 yards. Not every throw is Tyreek Hill anymore. I think they started seeing everybody, okay, now, especially what Tyreek did to the entire league, everybody's playing everything top down. So the underneath stuff is there, and they want to take away all the the over the top throws. So I think it's smart, especially the way that the NFL is going, and everybody's running that Vance Joseph, Vic Fangio defense, play everything top down. If you have a fast guy, we're just going to eliminate him. It's very smart to keep getting chunk after chunk after chunk. And then if you got guys playing 7 yards off, like you run a hitch, the only way that's getting picked is if you comes off your hands. You know what I'm saying? So smart football.
Yep. And the other piece of this is that it's an RPO. So I don't have the handoff, but you can see, I mean, these guys are all just upfield blocking. So just you either hand the ball off or you just hit the hitch behind.
Now we talk about cheating. That's cheating.
That is cheating. No, they
As
are
a
too far
linebacker,
downfield.
that's so
They are
trash.
too far downfield. That's the other trend. Like when you're looking, you go through and watch these games, you're like, okay, was this an RPO? Was it not? And it's never like a question because they're all like 5 yards downfield every single time. And I don't think I ever saw it get called.
No, never.
Yeah. Can move along. One of the complaints is that Bo goes through his reads a little bit too quickly. This is another thing that Oregon love to do. They stay over and over, especially at the goal line. These little pick plays. Just go right out here. This guy runs underneath him. And there it is. And you have 2 defenders. You got this guy sitting inside. Bo doesn't like what he sees here, which surprises me because I think I would really like it. And it's maybe a little bit tough from this angle. Maybe this guy can actually... Oh...
Yeah, I see like a touchdown right there.
I also see a touchdown. This one. There we go. You can see him kind of Oh, no.
Oh, what is
I'm trying.
he
I don't know.
done?
You did it.
I didn't do anything. What are you talking about?
There
I
we
don't
go.
think you can blame me here
Well,
on this one.
we might just have to go with no more drawing, I guess. So this guy, again, like maybe he could slide right underneath. You can't really tell from this angle. Oh, you hit play. Okay. Okay, now we draw. There we go. We're back. Could he like dive under there? It really doesn't look like it.
But is that inside guy taking the vertical, or is he square?
He takes the vertical.
But is he square right now?
I don't
I'm
think
trying
so.
to see what Bo sees.
I mean, to me, this guy's obviously going to the end zone, and he winds up going in the end zone. This guy's trying to fight through.
Okay.
And I don't think he's able. I mean, it's tough to say for sure. It really looks like he should just throw this ball, though, because I'm not worried about this guy. You just put that right there. It's a touchdown. Bo, though, decides I'm going to roll out of the pocket and then just whips this ball like off platform into this tiny little window right here, and it's a touchdown. So it all kind of works out in the end, but that is one of the complaints. And it doesn't happen all the time, but does he get off the open receiver a little bit too quick and then just go make a play of his own? And the modern NFL, it feels like that's a complaint with like 90% of the quarterbacks who come out. Like ever since Patrick Mahomes, it's all guys who it's like, he doesn't really like read the field, but he makes something good happen in the end. And Bo has that capability, but you just want to make sure if there's a touchdown there, you take the touchdown.
Yeah, there's no doubt about just taking the touchdown if it's there. But I feel like this is honestly a little refreshing for Broncos fans because I think when you think of Bo Nix, you don't think about his athleticism. And now he's not the most athletic person. He's not going to be Josh Allen just running people over. But he is athletic. And it's a good reminder that he does make plays on his own. And if the pocket breaks down or if he misses that first read, he can go out and make plays. And like you said, he was throwing off his back foot there running around. So I actually find that kind of encouraging, especially because the biggest issue with reads is if he doesn't go through them fast enough. I think you can slow a quarterback down. Sean can help slow a quarterback down, but you probably it's a lot more difficult to speed a quarterback up going through reads.
Yeah, I feel like these two statements like contradict one another. Like either he's taking the easy throws and quick throws, or he's coming off the receivers too fast. I don't know, pause maybe. But like, I don't know if you could do both. You know what I'm saying? Because he's either taking the money fast, or he's not taking the money and can't see the field. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how he can do both.
Yeah, exactly. We can go through here one more. So this one, speaking of the athleticism, everything all spread out, gets pressure off the edge here, pump fakes, gets the guy way up in the air, just runs around him. And this shows off the athleticism because he is a great athlete. I mean, he was the #1 dual threat quarterback in his recruiting class. So let's see. Where is this? This is the 44-yard line about that he starts, or the line of scrimmage. Runs all the way up the sideline. There's the 20 right there. So what's that? That's a 36-yard run. He's capable of busting off some big ones. And there we go. Yeah.
You like that? Tom?
Okay, yep, Bo Nix is fast. Moving along.
That's not what you said.
The big time throw percentage. So you do see some of these tight window throws. This one, I believe it's this guy on the crosser. Let me double check. Oh, it's the outside receiver on the crosser. So yeah, so they actually run a little pick here, sort of, and let this guy trail in all the way across. Takes a while to develop. You see him right here. He's trying to fight his way through. He's going to go up over that guy now. This is not an easy ball. That's the football right there. You can barely see it. Like, that's inches away from the guy's fingertips. It goes right in the receiver's hands. He's not able to, like, run with it afterward because that was just impossible. But you do see a few throws like this on tape that you get excited about. And I think the most exciting part of these throws is that he only threw 3 interceptions last season. Mm-hmm. So when you see him make a throw like that, if it was, say, Zach Wilson, for example, Zach Wilson makes that throw, you're like, okay, good throw, but we know, like, that's 50-50 just getting picked off.
Yeah.
So what is it really? So when you are avoiding turnovers at the rate he did, completing the pass at the rate he did, when you sprinkle in a couple throws like that, I think that's where you get really excited about him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
There's one play left.
We're really clocking in under the 8.5.
Yeah. If you guys want me to do less work, I'll do less work. Don't have to tell me
We
twice.
had to, like, beg you to do less work.
No, everybody loved the Caleb Williams one. Let's see. So this is kind of my other complaint. And there's some stats that say it shouldn't be a complaint at all. But these deep balls. So this is Troy Franklin. He's going to go up the sideline. There's no other safety over here. Like, it's just this guy in coverage. You can see him dropping back. That guy ran up the sideline. Here's another angle. He's got a step. There's nobody over here. This is all just free space for him to run. Ball's underthrown, as you can see. Like, it doesn't look like there's a huge separation, but there was plenty more. And because he had to slow down, the corner's able to catch up, winds up getting tackled. And so there's just some of those little things where, yeah, it's Bo Nix. Like, he's going to complete the pass. And when you look at the 20-plus yards downfield numbers, there's plenty to like there. But I do think that there's some value in trying to hit the guy in stride and turn the play into a touchdown instead of saying, you know what, I can underthrow this, still complete it, and just take my 20 yards and move along to the next play.
So do you think that his ability thrown downfield, you saw concerns often? Because there is a stat out there from Hayden Winks on Twitter who said Bo Nix had the highest on-target percentage of sideline throws, 10-plus air yards down the field among this class. Bo is at 60% on-target throws, 10-plus air yards downfield. Jaden Daniels, 59%. Michael Penix, 56%. Caleb Williams, 55%. Drake May, 52%. And J.J. McCarthy, 51%.
Yeah, I mean, this was technically on target because you completed the pass. You know, I think, again, there's no numbers that back this up. When I watch Bo Nix, I feel like a lot of the time that he's completing passes deep downfield, the receiver's coming back to the ball. Like the receiver's hips are facing the line of scrimmage, whether it's like a deep comeback route or it's a scramble drill and the guy loops back and is coming back toward the sideline. It feels like there's more of that than just hitting the guy over the top in stride. But again, like, that's, I don't have a number to back that up because nobody tracks where the receiver's hips are facing when they catch the football. So again, he completes the passes, and as long as you complete the passes, that's fine. If you wind up in situations where you're not playing efficient football and you're also not hitting those deep balls, that's where it'd be really disappointing. You know, Zach Wilson, when he hasn't hit those deep balls, that hurts because he's not getting you the consistent gains underneath. You need him to hit the deep balls to be effective.
So when you looked at the film, Henry, what did you come away? Did it feel like it was the same Bo Nix that you were expecting to see?
I kind of said this last week. There's definitely more of the pro style concepts than you give him credit for right away. I think there's a lot of like all those old school like West Coast concepts, like the sticks, and there's not as much of like the smash, I guess, but it's all those underneath ways to get guys open. You don't feel like at first time around, I didn't feel like I saw as many of those as much as it was just like screens and like, here's a drag route, guy's just too fast. Let's just give him the ball and let him run. But there was more of that. It all comes out of that spread offense, so the personnel can be a little bit strange. The matchups can be a little bit strange. The spacing is definitely like it's just wide open. I mean, you go back to that very first play, like this is oh yeah, hit the play button, and then we tap that, and then we okay. Well, you guys can see for yourself.
Leave it pressed.
Leave it pressed. Well, first we gotta go back all the way to. Well, the point is, there's just so much space. Oh, there we go. It's actually here now. Play, and now we leave it pressed. There we go. So when you just like look at how much of the field there is to work with for these three receivers, it's a lot easier to run this little fade and like the digging behind when you have this much space versus, if the hash was right here. And so there's some of those little things, they'll make the windows a little bit tighter. I mean, better defenders will also make the windows tighter. But yeah, I mean, there are pro-style concepts in there, a lot more than I think with a bunch of the other quarterbacks. And I think that's what's most exciting.
Okay, so then, Todd, when Henry's explaining that, I'm thinking, well, is this something that NFL defenses, because of the hashes and because they're just better athletes and are more prepared for this, are they just going to eliminate all of this space?
No, I don't think so. I think that just like the route works here, it'll work in the NFL. I think the speed that you have a wide receiver in college versus the speed of a linebacker is very, very similar to, the same matchup in the pros.
Yep.
And if they're clearing this thing out, I mean, this doesn't even get to the sideline. There's plenty of room for him to make this move and still be open against a linebacker. And a lot of times in the NFL, what they'll do with this route is it's an option, not just an out. So you have full manipulation of this linebacker. Wherever he is, you go the opposite. So I think there's ways to make it work, and it works in the NFL. So I think it'll be good.
How do you defend an option route if you're a linebacker?
You pray to get to the you pray you keep your leverage, you know what I'm saying? You got to break on time, not fall for the first move, and then hope that your D-line and outside linebackers give you some help.
Because essentially the option route is saying whatever you do, you're going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, like that is so tough for a coach to coach that and then a player to properly execute, right?
Yeah, I think because people are human, sometimes wide receivers overthink it too. So I think there's a way for you to mess up his timing by as soon as he comes out, you can jump the route and now he's a little bit off balance. Or sometimes too, guys will have you beat and try to take over your leverage. Like say your inside leverage, they give you a head fake because they just want to go inside for some reason, give you a head fake and then you're still there. And then the route's, saying? Then that's good defense when they should have just broke out and got the ball. So there's ways, I'm saying? It's teamwork.
Yeah.
And the other part is if you do start hitting those deep balls and you force them to sit back, that opens stuff up underneath. Yeah. If you get the running game going right up the middle and suck everybody into the middle to try to defend the run, then that also can help.